Another confirmation that Stargate is about to be revived, and this time it's an actor that is saying he knows what's coming. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV movie channel. So there's some information been talked about by First Lieutenant Matthew Scott, well, the actor Brian J. Smith, in an interview he did online a couple of days ago with Sidewalks Entertainment. Now, I'm just going to play the clip and then we're going to talk about it.
No one's approached you with like the idea of making another series?
I don't think so. I know that they're doing another Stargate. Like they're kind of reviving the franchise a little bit, but they want to do like these, they're going to do like these huge movies, and I have a funny feeling that they're not going to ask me to be a part of that.
You never know.
You
I
never know.
mean, it wouldn't be. I mean, you're part of the team, so I feel like they'd have to.
Yeah, we'll see. It's such a that
Yeah.
there's so many worlds in that franchise that it can go so many different ways, and I'm curious
Oh
to see what
yeah.
they do.
I'm sorry, what was that?
They're going to do like these huge movies.
So if you're a regular Sidetrack, you'll know that before Christmas I started talking about Amazon looked like they were going to actually do a Stargate movie first. And that we talked about how there was a big delay basically because Amazon and MGM didn't actually have a head of film. Now, around March time, they got that head of film in Courtney Valentini. I told you that not long after that appointment, Jennifer Salke sent her a memo, a directorate, or whatever you want to say, ordering her to begin development on Stargate, RoboCop. I think it gave permission for Legally Blonde 3 and possibly another project that we don't know quite what that was. And I basically said this was the point that they finally made their minds up. But because before that, they were dithering over a TV series, movie, whatever else. First Lieutenant Scott from SGU didn't just say, though, that they're going to be doing these movies. He said it was going to be a revival. Now, that's the words that we desperately wanted to hear the most. A continuation. I would actually say a revival is even more than a continuation, really. A revival is bringing a lot of those other actors back. Now, I said to you a couple of months ago, again, first and exclusively, that actually they were looking at doing a kind of SG1 revival, bringing some of those actors back, but really having at least an initial project that would look an awful lot like and feel a lot like the original SG1. Now, it really looks like Brian J. Smith here has done a bit of a Tom Holland moment and accidentally let the cat out of the bag because we've been saying that actually this was going to be announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Deadline did a story just, 6 weeks ago now, basically saying that yes, Stargate was one of the projects that Amazon planned for MGM to return with, and that it was probably going to be a movie. So did Brian misspeak? Well, he said he knows the Stargate franchise is returning. He also said these are going to be big movies. Now, I was told before Christmas that there were realistic expectations for these films, but actually that a movie was most likely simply because, one, it was what Jennifer Salke wants and she's in charge, but two, that Jennifer Salke basically saw this as an opportunity to create a Marvel style franchise, something that would be movies, TV, and everything else. I mean, I think I spoke about this yesterday when I talked about the game that's about to be released, Timekeepers, in July, and that Amazon consider this to be a multi-format franchise. They want movies, they want TV, they want comics, they want games. They really are looking at Star Wars, Marvel for their inspiration on, at very least, how to structure the franchise. And what Brian J. Smith here is really talking about is one aspect of that, with returning with big movies. Now, I said, as I mentioned a second ago, I was told that they were going to have realistic expectations. So from that, we were expecting budgets in around the 90 million area, something that would be a reasonably big budget movie. It would be a relatively low budget movie for, say, a Marvel superhero film, but still a decent budget for a cinematic release. He's talking more about if it's going to be a big movie, I would expect the budget to be maybe 50% higher than that, 120, 130 million. If we got a budget of something like that for a Stargate movie, now that would be incredibly exciting. So you heard it here first months ago that we were going to be getting a Stargate movie first, or at very least that was the rumor that was being knocked around. But how does this affect things like Mark Fergus and his company Penguin and Parker, who we believed and hoped was going to be taking the reins of this? Well, it makes me a little nervous in that I told you that negotiations were going on between Mark Fergus and Amazon before Christmas. But those negotiations collapsed. Now, when I hear more news that this is going to be returning as a series of movies, I think it's less likely Mark Fergus will be involved. The reason for that was one of the problems Mark Fergus had with Amazon back then was that they couldn't make their mind up what they wanted to do. They kept talking about a movie, but he was doing development work on a TV series. Mark Fergus has written scripts for movies before. He wrote the script for Iron Man. So, he has written big hit scripts before. So it doesn't necessarily mean he won't be. I'm just wondering if Amazon are actually looking at a deal with somebody like Warner Brothers or Sony, a big studio, to have a relationship with while making these movies, because they need studio space, but also it helps share a bit of the cost out. And one of those studios will want to go with a big production partner that they already work with. Now, if that's Sony, that could still be Mark Fergus and Penguin and Parker, because they are doing other projects together at the moment. Or it could mean that Amazon are actually planning to go in a completely different direction. Now, remembering what Star Trek did with the J.J. Abrams ones, they went with what at the time was a relatively small production company that had only really done TV shows. They went with Bad Robot, and Bad Robot then went on to do several other big features. Could this be Penguin and Parker's moment to step up? I have heard rumors from different agents around Hollywood that Penguin and Parker were looking to hire more staff. They were looking for staff writers and they were looking for other creative people. So maybe that's the indication that actually Mark Fergus is in line for this. I just worry that if it's a big budget movie, that they're going to want somebody a little bit more established, but maybe I'm just being pessimistic. So one more time, John, what do you know?
I know that they're doing another Stargate, like they're kind of reviving the franchise a little bit, but they want to do like these, they're going to do like these huge movies,
So guys, get in the comments and tell me what you think. Is this as good as a confirmation for you, or is it just one big step closer? John here could have just been misspeaking, but he doesn't say he thinks. He said he knows. And I don't think that was a slip of the tongue. I think he's done a Tom Holland moment here. But what do you think? Get into the comments and tell me. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss any of our new videos or any new big scoops on Stargate. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos appear first. And for a small contribution that really supports the channel, really helps us out, you get to see them without the adverts. As always, guys, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.